Good morning Year 4. And this is your maths video for if you've got this booklet on Monday the 1st of February. I'm going to start by saying two very big well dones. The first one is to Alan and the second one is to Harley. A fantastic effort at home. You've been using the videos to help you, which is brilliant. So keep up the great work and let's see who I can congratulate next time. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time this morning looking over our work from Friday because remember division is a brand new concept for you. So I'm going to pop Friday's work under the visualiser and we're going to have a little chat about the answers and how we got to those answers. Okay, so right at the top then, got all the answers written down, so you might want to turn to Friday's work and have a little look to see if you got those correct. And let's think about how we got our answers. So on Friday we had to use our times tables to help us, didn't we? So now that we've got our answers, we can do them like a normal division calculation. And let's see if we get the same numbers. So 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Who can remember what times table we would need to use to answer that question? Okay, so it's our 2's, isn't it? So let's count in 2's until we get to 16. And I want to hear you joining in at home as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I got the answer 8. The answer 8 there, so that one must be correct. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So again, let's check now to see if that works. So let's count up in 2's until I get to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Did I count up 6 times? I did, which means this one must be correct as well. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got that one correct as well. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 10 times. 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 9 times. And then 14 divided by 2 equals 7. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 7 times. So we used our times table to help us to figure out those missing numbers. Now the next part then is our times table grid. We've done a few of these now Year 4, so we should start to get the hang of them. And you'll notice that this time my numbers go up from 1 to 10. But we know that they don't always. Okay, that's just how it happened to work out on that grid. And for this one, we used our 10 times tables to help us. And we thought, how many 10s are there in 10? 10, there's just one. How many 10s are there in 20? 10, 20, 2. And we carried on all the way along. We then spoke about question 3 and we decided that because we'd used this language of how many, that we could do this question. So how many 2's in 8? So we counted in 2's, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. And then for the final question, we should have circled this one here because this equals 2, just like 4 divided by 2. Equals 2. So well done if you got those correct at home. So we've recapped Friday's learning. Fantastic. Let's do a quick warm-up to get our brains thinking. Now our warm-up today is a game of hit the button, but instead of using the times table one like we normally do, we're going to be doing some halving today. And halving is the same as dividing by 2. We're sharing something into 2 separate groups. So let's have a little go. So, half of 4. So, I've got 4 all together. If I put them into 2 groups, how many's in each group? 2. half of 8. This time I've got 8 all together. If I put them into 2 groups, how many do I have? 4. Half of 4, again, we've just done that one. Can we remember? 2. Half of 40. Now we won't really use our fingers for this one. So let's have a go at our times tables. Let's count in 2s till we get to 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 7. Half of 20. Let's count in 2s. Might have to be a little bit quicker. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 10 times. Okay, we're nearly there. If I've got a 0, can I halve it? No. Half of 20, we've just done that one. Can we squeeze another one in? Half of 6. Oh, we didn't get time. So I scored 7 there. I'm going to send you the link to this game, and I want you to see if you can beat my score of 7. Okay. Okay, so we've had a look at halving today because it will help you with your first set of questions for today's learning. Okay, and remember, halving is the same as dividing by 2. So sharing something into 2 equal groups. But to help us today, we're going to do some partitioning. And remember, partitioning is where we split our number into 10s and into 1s. So, how many 10s are there in the number 20? Have a little look. How many 10s do you think there are? Okay, so there are 2 10s. Well done. How many 1s are there? Let's bit of a trick question. How many 1s are there? I haven't got any, have I? Okay, so what we're going to do now that I've partitioned it, is I'm going to half each side. I'm going to half my 10s, then I'm going to half my 1s. So half of 2. If I've got 2 all together and I then share them into 2 groups, how many is in each group? Just 1, isn't there? Okay, same again then. So if I've got 0 and I try to share it into 2 groups, how many will there be in each group? Be 0, wouldn't there? I can't half 0. And then I'm going to push my numbers back together. So if I put a 1 in front of a 0, I get the number 10. So half of 20 is 10. Let's see if we can have a go at this number then. So now I've got 40. How many 10s are there in 40? There are 4. How many 1s? 0. Okay, so now let's half it, dividing it by 2. If I've got 4 all together and I share it into 2 groups, how many is there in each group? There's 2, isn't there? Again, with the 0, I haven't got anything to share, so I can't do it. It would be 0. And if I put them 2 together, it would say the number 20. So half of 40 is 20. Now for today's learning year 4, you're going to be turning to page 16. And the first set of questions are asking you to half the numbers. Now I only want you to do A, B, C and D, okay? If you want to challenge yourself to have a go at E, F, G and H, that's okay too, but I'm just focusing on the first 4 today. Okay, so when you've done that, a little bit strange, but we're going to go right to the very bottom of our page. And we're going to have a go at question 4. because that's asking us to half something as well. But it's just written a little bit differently, but all that means is to half, to share into two groups. So we're going to start by doing question 1, just the first 4. Then we're going to go all the way to the bottom and do question 4. Okay, brilliant. So, once you've done that then, year 4, we're going to be going on to the main part of our lesson. And this ties in with our learning question. So our learning question for today says, can I understand that division is the inverse of multiplication? Now, inverse means the opposite. Okay, so the opposite to hot is cold. The opposite to adding, to make something bigger, is taking away, to make something smaller. So the opposite of division is multiplication. And just like on Friday, where we used our times tables to help us. Okay, so you'll see on my board that I've got some multiplication questions. 2 times 6 equals 12. And then I say this to you all the time. If you don't know your 6's, you can use your 2's, can't you, to help you in multiplication. So then I've just swapped those numbers around. 2 times 6 equals 12. So let's have a little look at that under the visualiser. Okay, so you can see here that I've got 2 groups of 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. That's how many we've got all together. Okay, so I've still got the answer of 12. But if I swap the 6 and the 2 around, here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 2. And let's see if we still get the answer 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we can swap those first 2 numbers around in our multiplication facts, okay? But if we now have a look at our division fact, you'll see that it starts with the total amount. And this total amount is the same as the total amount that we got from our multiplication question. Okay, so 12 divided by 6 equals 2. 12 divided by 6, so I've got 12. I've shared it into 6 groups, and each group has got 2. So if we go back to my visualiser, I've got 12. I've shared it into 6 groups, and each group has got 2. And then if I look at this one now, so I've got 12, I've shared it into 2 groups, and each group has got 6. So I've got 12, I've shared it into 2 groups, and each group has got 6. So we can use our multiplication and division together, can't we? So let's see if we can now match some multiplication facts to its inverse, to the division fact. Okay, so here I've got 5 multiplied by 7, which equals 35. So that's my total. Can we now see a division fact that's got the total amount, so that's this number here, of 35? We can, it matches to this one, doesn't it? So 5 times 7 equals 35. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. Well done if you spotted that at home. Okay, so now we've got 11 times 10 equals 110. Can we find a division sentence that starts with 110, our total amount? And that would match to this one. 110 divided by 10 equals 11. And then finally, we've got 2 times 12 equals 24. And then that would match to 24 divided by 12 equals 2. So now year 4, we're going to go back to our booklet and we're going to turn to question 3. And question 3 is exactly like what we've just done on the board, matching a multiplication question to its inverse, to its division fact. Okay, so you'll draw a line from one side to the other so that it shows the inverse, the opposite. Okay. And our final question on today's activity is a bit of a word problem. So I've got a word problem as well. It says, Miss Colclough has 24 children in her class. Each table sits 4 children. How many tables are needed? So we need to start by picking out our key information. One important piece of information is that we've got 24 children. That's how many children we've got all together. And the tables sit 4 children each. So we've got to figure out how many tables I need. So we've got 24 all together. I'm going to divide that by 4 because that's how many children can fit on a table. And then let's see if we can figure out the answer. So let's count in our 4s till we get to 24. 4, 8, 12, 16 and 20. 24, so that's 6 times. Okay, and now I'm going to check 6 times 4 or 4 times 6 should equal 24. So 6, 12, 18, 24. So now you're going to do your final question on today's page, which is another word problem. And it says, there are 40 people at a party. Each table has 10 seats. How many tables are needed for everyone to sit down? So let's find our key information. 40 divided by 10. And I want to see your answers. Okay. Now, you know I always set you a little challenge to finish our learning. And today's challenge is asking you to fill in the blanks. So you might want to pause the video now and see if you can fill in my blanks. Well done for that then, Year 4. And just before we finish, let's have a little think about our learning today. Let's roll our dice. What number will it land on? Number 2. What were you most pleased with today's learning? So have a little think. What are you really proud of yourself for achieving? Don't forget to take a picture and send it to the Year 4 email address.